the sun is in my eye. Up until about yesterday, there has been this really weird thing going on whenever I talk to girls that I know are attracted to me, okay? It'll start off completely fine, and then at some point, I'm just completely uncertain of whether or not this girl is actually into me. It does not come from a lack of getting girls. What is it then? What is this thing that is keeping me separate to them? You feel me? Because I feel like I'm an observer. I feel like that's what this is. I just don't see social interaction the way I feel I should be seeing it. You know, people always talk about how it's a one-on-one interaction, like you're supposed to be there and in the moment. And I've been there plenty of times, but it's not something I can just outwardly portray. And I started to wonder why that is. You feel me? Why is it that this thing that I feel like I've been working on my whole life is not working for me? Because by all means, I'm pretty good socially. Like, I'm a socially adept person. People will say to me, Sam, you seem like the type of person who gets a lot of friends. I'm the type of person who meets a lot of people in a year. I've met so many people since I turned 17 that honestly, had I kept in touch with a bunch of them, I think my situation would just be different. Not necessarily better, but different. Different things would have happened to me. Like, it's not to say I have some kind of gravitational pull about me. That's to say that I've worked on it long enough that in a situation where someone is gonna love or hate me, whichever side of the fence they land on, they're gonna know who I am. This is something that like I can objectively see. You feel me? I've seen the change from when it wasn't that way to when it is that way. Now that I'm here, now that I actually have the thing that I have been searching for so long, I think being ugly gave me PTSD, bro. You know, by all means, at that time, I was very much down on my dick. Like, now I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wasn't better off than some niggas growing up. I was cute. Girls would say I was cute, you know? Like, I was non-threatening. Girls would be friends with me. Romantically though, if I didn't know the girl prior to shooting my shot potentially, I was getting curved, gang. Now, I played a lot of rugby growing up. So eventually, some girl would notice me. But it wasn't like my boys, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like my boys. My boys, I would go to a festival with my boys and these niggas would just get stares from women because they had more muscular. Like, they were more muscular than I was. They were taller than I was. They were faster than I was when we played sports. You know what I mean? They were better at that shit than I was because I was just not as good. Shorter, smaller, more frail. You feel me? That's not to say that I wasn't good at sports either. I was. But still, as compared to them, this nigga was weak. And eventually you start to identify with that. I should actually preface this by saying that I've had the honor of knowing some exceptional Negroes, okay? Like, you know, this is my white friends and my black friends alike. What I am trying to say is that I just know absurdly athletic guys relative to whatever I've been doing at the time. And that's not like, you know, I'm going to play Springboks level rugby, or a few of them fucking could have, let me say that. These niggas were like, people will turn their head to look at you good at shit. You feel me? Those are the kind of guys that I identified with whenever I got into sports, because I was slightly above average, not slightly. I was like 60% above average. These niggas like 80. And then you get into like, some of these niggas were really doing that, bro. Some of these niggas were really like that. Do you see what I'm saying to you right now? Like, how the fuck am I supposed to stack up against this nigga? In the gym once. This is already when I'm starting to put on muscle, by the way. He was deadlifting 180 kilograms, no belt, no chalk, no straps, barehanding that shit, bro. Of course, I'm gonna have a warped view of life. You feel me? But now, I am that nigga. I had a culture shock when I went to uni. Every single guy that I met was like, damn, you played rugby in high school, didn't you? And I was like, yeah, I did. Like, like people expected that from me. That's not something that I'm used to, honestly. It really isn't. I was a twink, bro. And all the shit that I would say if I was like still a twink would probably still be okay now that I am an adult. But fuck me. Me having this personality back in the day also didn't help. Girls don't like weird niggas that aren't attractive. Sorry, I said it. I might have some tism. I have anxiety. And for whatever reason, women like hearing that. But they didn't then. And I still identify with that. Until now, I guess. That's really it. These videos are beautiful because like they're a form of catharsis. I make some of these videos and I come back to them and watch them. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna fall for that trap. This is a video I made sometime last year that actually spurred me into action for making this one, so I'll link it out there. Not every experience you're going through is a unique one. I looked up some stuff about why I was feeling the friction I was feeling. You feel me? That led me down the rabbit hole of the personality of a taker, someone who can only reciprocate the emotions given back to them. I'm checking if this battery's gonna die. I noticed that I was that, and I was like, why was I this? Then you go down the rabbit hole of there's this thing called limerence, the obsessive thinking of a person or persons that you may be romantically attracted to but can't be with for whatever reason. You feel me? I get there, I'm like, okay, this is whack. You deal with that, and it honestly brings me here to my final conclusion. You feel me? My advice, what I can add on so that you don't have to go through what I went through. If you feel like there's a very big social disconnect in some of the interactions you have with people, almost like you feel belittled by them. You know there's a side of them you can't see because you can't unlock it. It's probably just because you don't look good enough. You don't meet their attraction threshold. This applies to both guys and girls. This is not a unique thing to either gender. What I'm saying is source that you can apply pretty much anywhere. I say this because the easiest and fastest way to fix this is just by getting in shape. Get in really fucking good shape really quickly. Short, tall, doesn't matter. Once you're in shape, people notice you more. It's not even about people noticing you more, it's the way they notice you. Maybe that's the thing that I've been missing out on. It is true that people notice you more, but it's definitely in a more healthy way. You know what I mean? The unfortunate truth about human interaction is that people don't usually want to have conversations, the kind that build relationships with people that they see as beneath them. The exception to that is obviously the friend zone, but you're still, male or female, looking for adoration from a person. And I'm actually going to use the friend zone in a non-romantic context. The friend zone as being a depender and a dependee. The dependee being the person you want to be friends with. You'll get put in the friend zone more the less attractive you are. I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit, bro. The silver lining to that is there's an attraction threshold that pretty much everyone can cross. If you're 7 out of 10 attractive on the attraction scale, you're good, I think. If you're me, getting in shape. I can't be short and ugly. I feel especially since I'm so dark, my face also wouldn't complement. This sounds like a fucking looks maxing video, but it's not. I'm actually just spitting game. The fastest way to do that is to get in shape, no matter what race you are, right? If you're a girl, get a dumpy. And if you're me, especially if you're a short black guy with long ass arms, get some wider shoulders. Start deadlifting. As you're doing that, you'll get more attractive. Then you'll come back to this video and you'll watch it from the beginning and you'll say, gee, Sam, I'm experiencing what you're experiencing. And I'm here to tell you that after you put in that work, motherfucker, you will reap the rewards. On days that you don't feel like being attractive, you are. I wake up like this. I look like this when I go to bed, when I wake up in the morning, when I feel like shit, when I am shit, when I'm down on my dick. That helps with a lot of things. A lot. Yeah, life's not fair. Go to the gym, put some muscle on. Like I said, if you're a girl, get a dumpy, but put some muscle on. If you're a guy, put some muscle on. Definitely hit legs 4 times a week when you start. That's a real secret sauce. I'm about to give you some secret sauce about working out. You gotta hit legs 4 times a week. If you wanna get big really quickly, it's not about the upper body development, it's about the lower body development. If you can push more weight on your legs, your respiratory system is going to adjust to that. Think about me deadlifting a 245 versus a dude who's able to shoulder press 90 kilograms. You feel me? Because if you think about it 1-to-1, then technically he has the advantage. His shoulder press is more than mine. But if I can deadlift a 245, the total weight that I can put on my body is significantly more. You feel me? That's really the secret sauce if you want to get big quickly.